Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing my very first book review, and for my first review I thought that I would tell you about Fourth Wing. I've been told that this is going to be a 5-book series, and before I get into it, let me just tell you what the blurb says about it. 20-year-old Violet Sorrengail was supposed to enter the Scribe Quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general, also known as her toughest Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of the Navarre Dragon Riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away. Because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Riorson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet, with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basgiath War College has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only 2 ways out: graduate or die. Now, doesn't that make you just want to read this book? Luckily for you, this book will be available next week on the 2nd of May in America, the 9th of May in Australia, and I think the 5th of May in the UK. So you don't have to wait all that long. They're already taking pre-orders for it and stuff like that. Now that I've finished reading this, it has become my favorite book, and I just know it's going to become my favorite series. It is so good. There aren't any negatives that I can tell you about this book, except maybe pronunciation of words, but that's not really a downside to it. The names in this book are hard to pronounce. That's just me. But you might be able to pronounce them fine, but I struggled with it. Everything else, I can't fault it. It is a magnificent story. There are dragons in here, and they bond with humans. I think they would describe this as new adult. So all the characters in this book, other than the professors and the teachers, obviously, but everyone else is in their early to mid-20s. In saying that, I think everyone can get enjoyment out of this book, whether you're in your teens, in your 20s. I'm nearly in my 50s and I loved it. Okay, so I don't think that age really matters with this book. I think anyone can enjoy it. You guys, could not put this down. I loved it so much. I love the writing style. It's not airy fairy. It's not complicated. It's perfection, you guys. I mean, I know there's no such thing as perfection. I couldn't fault it. If you are a fan of, say, Lynette Noni and the Prison Healer series, or even her Madoran Chronicles, what else can I compare it to? I'm just looking around my library to see if there's anything that I could compare it to. My goodness. Don't you just hate it when you go blank and you just can't think? Which is where I am now. If you like Nikki Palpretto and the Crown of Feathers trilogy, yes, that is a good comparison to this. Yeah, definitely. If you're a fan of that, this book is for you. And I promise you, I promise you, you're going to enjoy this book. I'm dying to read it again. I've pre-ordered 3 copies or 3 different editions of this book. So I've pre-ordered the US edition, the UK edition, and the Fairy Loot edition, because Fairy Loot is going to be doing like the sprayed edges and all that kind of stuff. I cannot wait. And I'll definitely be setting my alarm for probably the middle of the night when these crazy sales are on, to get that. And I know that it's going to be a bloodbath because everyone's going to want it. So I'm hoping that I snag one of the Fairy Loot editions. Now, I did say this is going to be a 5-book series, didn't I? So hopefully Fairy Loot will continue their editions for the whole 5 books. They would have to, wouldn't they? You would think. Last Wednesday, I started to read and I didn't stop reading. I skipped dinner. I skipped sleeping. I didn't sleep at all that night. I couldn't put it down. The last 300 pages, holy dooly. Whoa. There was so much going on, so much action, drama, panic. So there was so much going on. I was turning the pages like this. I was like speed reading. And it was crazy because I didn't want to speed read because I didn't want to I didn't want to pass it by, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to savor it, but I felt like there was so much action that I was reading it really fast because I just wanted to know what was going to happen in the next page and the next page and the next page. And I wasn't even looking at the time. But by 2 o'clock in the morning, I thought, I've gone this far, I might as well finish it. You know, like I was near the end of the book, and who cares about sleeping, man? You know, I mean, I didn't have to work the next day, so I thought I could just sleep all day long the next day. And I did. I did not sleep. I just finished it. And when I finished it, I was sitting on my bed and I was like this. I was just sitting up. I had the book on my lap and I was just still for maybe 10 minutes. Just things going on in my head about the book and what just happened. It was like someone had pulled the rug out from under me. You're never going to guess what happened. And I'm not going to tell you. Of course, I'm not going to tell you. But, whoa, that last, what would have been? It would have been maybe the last 4 chapters. Oh. You're going to die, because I nearly died. And reading the last paragraph and the last line, my head exploded. What time did I finish? It was about 5 o'clock in the morning when I finished. And remember, I didn't have dinner the night before. I was so emotionally drained, emotionally, I was stumped to my core. And I said this in my book review on Instagram, that when I finished the book, I wanted cake. I don't have cake at home, so I had ice cream instead at 5 in the morning. That's how emotionally drained I was reading that last line, that last paragraph. I needed ice cream. Are you guys like that? Like if you read a book and you tell me, if whenever you read a book that has an ending that's just blown you away, do you go for ice cream, cake, like any of the comfort foods? Because that's what I did. I went for ice cream. And lucky I had ice cream in my freezer because it was so good. So good. A lot of my friends are getting this book next week, and I can't wait for them to get it. I'm going to do a buddy read with a couple of them. And do you know what else? Since I've finished this book, I haven't been able to pick up another book. I tried. I tried picking up Priory of the Orange Tree because last weekend was Supernova in Melbourne, and Samantha Shannon was in Melbourne, and I wanted her to sign and autograph and personalize my copies of Roots of Chaos. And I thought, I have to read, because I haven't read them, I had to read the Priory of the Orange Tree so that I have something to say to her when I meet her on Saturday. I could not. I picked it up and I couldn't get into it because I was still on a book hangover from this book. So I went to Supernova and I said, "Hi, how are you?" And I couldn't say anything about her book. And that was shameful. I know that was shameful, but I just couldn't. And even now, what are we now? It's Thursday. It's been a week. It's been a week and I still haven't been able to pick up a book. This book is about the first year of the cadetship. Our main character is Violet, and she is smaller than everyone else, and her body is brittle. So if she falls over, she can easily sprain an ankle or break a bone, or she bruises easily. You know, she's not as strong as everybody else physically. But mentally, she's highly intelligent. She's very resourceful. She is an unlikely hero. You know what I mean? Like if you see her, you probably think, oh yeah, she's not going to make it. She makes things work for her. You know what I mean? We also have Dane, who is her best friend. They grew up together. He knows everything about her. He knows her family. He is also her squad leader. And I don't like him. I don't like him not one bit. Okay, he seems charming, but he's not. And he's not a very good friend either. He does things that'll make you cringe, you know. It'll make you think, what does he think friendship means when he does all these things that a friend wouldn't do? And then you've also got Xaden, and like I said, I don't know how to pronounce their names. So Xaden is spelt Xaden. I pronounce it Xaden. It could be pronounced something else. I don't know. But that's how I pronounce it in my head. How do I explain Xaden? At the very first meeting that they have, he knows instantly he's not going to like her without even talking to her or anything. His parents and her parents, they've had bad history. Because of their parents' actions, the animosity has carried on to their children. And same with Violet. As soon as she found out who he is, There are no chances. It's complicated then because he is her wing leader. So he's ranking higher than Dane, you know, and she has to navigate how to make this work, and how to make life easy for herself or manageable, even knowing that she's got her worst enemy as her boss, basically, and who, by the way, makes life tough for her. There's that friction, you know. Who else are we going to meet? We're going to meet Rhiannon, and that's going to become Vi's friend in the squadron. There are a whole bunch of other characters that I'm not going to mention. It's just a lot, and I want you to read this book, you know, so I don't want to give it away too much. Anyway, so she goes into the squadron. The aim is that by the end of your training, you are then paraded in front of a line of dragons who will bond with you. Now, because they have minds of their own, and if they don't like you, they can just incinerate you without even you speaking a single word. Just by the look of you, if they don't like it, they'll just kill you. After the parade, you then have to go into what's called a threshing, where you go into an open field, and the dragons who was lined up to have a look at you will then pick who they want to bond with. You have no control over who they want to bond with. You have no control what dragon will bond with you. And two things will happen. One, you could be a person or a cadet who no dragons liked you at all, and so no one picks you, which means that you have to repeat your year in the college in the hopes that next year you could bond with another dragon. Or the second option is, at threshing, a dragon will pick you from your little parade, and then they will bond with you. If a dragon bonds with you, you then become their rider. And the next part of the training is your squad who are bonded with dragons. You will then train for war. But remember, this is your first year. When a dragon bonds with you, you will also then not only be able to communicate with your dragon mind to mind. You can draw on their magic, on their power, and you don't know what that power is. Once you have your power, then stuff really happens. Before you graduate, your entire squad then enters into war games. And this is a make-believe battle scenario where your squadron leader, which is Xaden, will be assessed on his ability to manage his team, and your squad leader, which is Dane, will be assessed on how he takes orders and how he commands the squad. And then you will be evaluated as well on how competent you are. It kind of like ends with the war games scenario. Okay, obviously there's more to it than that, and I'm not going to tell you any more because then that would wreck the book for you, you know. That's my book review. I hope this makes sense, and I hope it has at least enticed you to read the blurb. You know, I probably gabbed on a little bit, and hopefully I didn't spoil too much. I mean, I don't think I did. I didn't really give you the entire plot, because you know there are things that happen that I didn't say or whatever, but yeah, yeah, just you wait. Just you wait until you get this book in your hands. And then come and comment and tell me what you thought, because we're in this together, right? So that's it for me. I hope this made sense, and I hope that you enjoyed this review. Like I said, this was my first review. I have no idea what I'm doing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you would come back for another book review. The next one, I think I'll do my favorite series. Bye for now.